Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Asian Psycho, and this is going to be the newest addition to the Exploring the Arsenal playlist of mine, and that is going to be the review on the all-new shotgun, the newest NX standard shotgun anyway, that was released earlier today for the preview sale, the Kel-Tec KSG. Now, some of you guys may remember the KSG from, for those of you guys who have played Modern Warfare 3, this is indeed the same KSG that was featured in Modern Warfare 3, and looks like Combat Arms has once again taken a book, leaf out of Activision's book and brought over the KSG. Now, first things first, first the general impressions if you guys don't have enough time to watch the entire video review in full, because, you know, you got other things to do or something like that. The first thing, like the main important thing that I want to say, or that I can say about the KSG, is that it's not the best shotgun. Straight flat out, it's not the best shotgun at all. And as you can see right there, I'm trying to test out how many pellets, I'm just trying to see how many pellets it has per shell. And it's pretty ordinary, it only has 7 pellets per shell, but I'll get into that later in a second. But first of all, what you need to know is that the KSG is a low damage pump action shotgun that has a very high ammo capacity, but that's about it. It's got a few other advantages as well working for it, but I'll get to those later. But for now, just know that the KSG is not the best shotgun out there. It's very, very weak, and yet I don't really think it's worth it unless you're a shotgun connoisseur and you just absolutely love shotguns. I guess this would be a nice addition to your your inventory and whatnot. But for all practical purposes and intentions, the KSG is not really worth your NX trying to buy or something like that. So once again, that pretty much sums up my thoughts on the KSG. Don't get it if you're not a huge shotgun fan. So now let's get into the actual review of the KSG. So once again, this is the newest NX standard shotgun that was released earlier today for preview sale as of June 1st, 2012. And yeah, because it is a preview sale, it is only available in 90-day or permanent durations, and with the usual shotgun price tagging for the KSG. Now let's get into the damage and all the other statistics of the KSG. Now because the stats are not available anymore, like the clan page or the shop page has been removed from the Combat Arms main page, I decided to compare the statistics to other shotguns that I have in my inventory. And what I found is that the damage is very low indeed. I want to say it's not even as powerful as the SPAS-12. In fact, the Remington 1187P, which was a low damage but very high rate of fire shotgun to begin with, is more powerful than the KSG. In other words, the KSG is very, very weak, and you're definitely not going to be. Well, I mean, assuming you get two good shots in, you can take down anyone. Well, you can take down anyone with 2 shots with any shotgun. But the KSG is especially tough to bring anyone down in 2 shots. You need to have at least either you need to be up close and personal, like really close up, or you have to make sure all your pellets hit at whatever range that you're firing from, and only then can you ensure like a straight up 2-shell kill. Notice I didn't say 2-shot kill. But anyways, the KSG, like I said, is a very low damage shotgun. In this gameplay, you'll see me use a lot of shells just to take a single guy down. Granted, I was shooting at him from like maximum shotgun range, but still, its maximum or its minimum damage, I should say, is very, very low. And you really need to get up close and personal with the KSG if you want to deal the maximum amount of damage that you can possibly do with a shotgun. Damage drop-off. The damage drop-off is, well, as most other shotguns, it is obviously quite severe because it is a shotgun, and eventually your pellets will disappear over range. However, compared to other shotguns anyway, the damage drop-off is extremely bad. Like I mentioned just before, the damage is very low to begin with, and also coupled with the fact that it's damage drop-off. It might be because of the fact that it has a very low damage to begin with, but even still, it's important to note that the KSG does not have a very good damage drop-off profile either. So ranged combat with the KSG is not recommended at all. Moving on to the portability. The portability on the KSG is about right. It's not something you should be worried about. Most shotguns are pretty portable anyway, because I mean they are meant to be close quarters weapons. So the KSG's portability is nothing to fret over, unlike the jackhammers, which the portability on that thing was kind of it was kind of bad. But for KSG, anyway, it's not too bad. Moving on to the rate of fire. The rate of fire on the KSG is the same as it is on the M590 military family of shotguns. The M590 military, the M590 Mariners, the M590 CQB, and the CQB Mariners, they all have 17 rate of fire. And the KSG also has 17 rate of fire as well. How I could tell this was because I compared the CQB Mariners to the KSG and looked at any stat differences, and I noticed that the rate of fire on both shotguns were exactly the same. They didn't change at all, so that's how I know. Moving on to the accuracy. The accuracy on the KSG, like I mentioned before, there's not really much of an accuracy stat that I can talk about for shotguns, but instead I'm going to be talking about their bullet pattern in terms of their accuracy. Its accuracy on the KSG, the Kel-Tec KSG, I almost want to call it the KSG-12 because I'm on for 3. But anyways, the KSG's accuracy. Now let's first talk about its bullet pattern. The bullet pattern for the KSG is very, very random. I feel like typically the bullets, or the pellets rather I should say, have an inclination to gather towards the top right hand side of your crosshairs. I don't understand why, but it just feels like that to me, and I could be completely wrong, but that's just, I don't know, I just noticed that my shots are kind of weird like that. So I would like to advise you guys to make sure to aim kind of towards your upper right corner. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. The pellet spread is kind of unpredictable to me, so I can't really quite put my finger on it yet. But yeah, hopefully, guys, if you guys do have the KSG, hopefully, you guys can figure out the bullet pattern and whatnot. Its range. KSG's range. Now, here's the thing about the range on the KSG. The range is actually very, very good. In fact, it probably has one of the highest ranges of any shotgun for its damage class. The only reason why the M590 CQB's Mariner's range is so high is because of the fact that it has such high damage. That's why its bullets are still able to do considerable amounts of damage, even at range. However, the KSG has like some sort of built-in range thing to it. I don't really understand too much about what's going on with the KSG, but the KSG just anyway feels like it has a very long range. I definitely was noticing that I was able to put people down at pretty long range, but it took me like 10, 12 shells in order to do so. So not very recommended, but just know that the KSG's range is pretty damn good for a shotgun. But at the same time, because of its very, very low damage, it's not something I recommend anyway, unless you know for a fact that your target has really low HP and all it takes is like 1 or 2 pellets to take him out. Moving on to the recoil. The recoil on the KSG is pretty minimal because first of all, it's a pump action shotgun, so your recoil you don't really need to worry about it too much. The recoil kickback itself is not very high either, so you don't really need to worry about that too much. However, for some reason, I find the KSG very hard to aim. I don't understand why. Like, I mean, it should behave in my mind. It should behave as the same as it should as I would like using a the M590 CQB Mariners. However, I don't know, I just find that the KSG shotgun just is a little bit harder to manage in terms of like firing than most other shotguns. So I don't know, I just can't put my aim on it, aim on people right. So I don't know, it could be just this shotgun itself, or it could just be me being a noob and all that. So whatever. Moving on to the recoil controllability. Well, I kind of covered that. The recoil controllability is technically not very difficult at all because it is a pump action shotgun, so the recoil will be negated by the pump animation. However, just as like a train of or not train, what train? Like some sort of like a token of warning there. It's not, in my experience anyway, I have some trouble aiming with the thing, so yeah, whatever. Sprint drawback. The sprint drawback is it's relatively fast. I mean, it is a shotgun, so it is meant to be used as this close quarters weapon, so that the sprint drawback should be indeed pretty fast. You never know if you're gonna run into someone on while you're sprinting along the map. So yeah. Now, the draw speed is one of the main advantages that the KSG has as well. The draw speed, if you guys didn't realize, didn't notice by watching the video already, the draw speed and draw animation are very, very fast. In fact, it's probably the fastest drawing shotgun that Combat Arms has yet to offer. It has a very fast draw speed and animation, and also its animation is also very, very quiet. In fact, it's completely silent. So the KSG could be your perfect, like you could say, backup weapon in terms terms of like if you're in a situation where you need to take out another weapon, like you don't want to take out your pistol because you know it's too weak, but you need to take out another supporting weapon or like some other primary weapon because you need to take someone down really quick. The KSG is definitely suited for that kind of a role. If you've lit someone up and he only needs like one, like maybe he's down to like 30 40 HP, the KSG is definitely a good candidate of weaponry, of weapon choices that you should go with, because not only does it have a not only it can be used sneakily, if that's even a word, because of its completely silent draw animation. However, and in addition, it has that very fast draw speed. So if you need to take out another weapon really quickly, the KSG is it. Moving on to the center speed. The center speed is we don't really need to worry about the center speed because most of the time the center speeds on shotguns aren't really, you know, we don't really need to worry about them too much. So we'll skip over that. You don't need to worry about the center speed. The reload speed. The reload speed on the KSG is surprisingly very fast for how much ammo it holds. Typically speaking, the trend for shotguns and combat arms is that if it has more ammo, it has it has longer reload time, except for NX shotguns. We all know how that goes. But because that KSG is not surprisingly an NX standard shotgun, the reload speed is not surprisingly pretty fast, especially considering the fact that it has 14 shells. It's kind of comparable to my reaction to the Remington 1187P when I realized that it had an extended mag 2 on it technically to have 10 bullets or 10 shells. The KSG, my reaction to the KSG was also pretty similar. Like, whoa, 14 shells and it reloads this fast. So yeah, the reload speed is pretty good if you think about it in a different sense. The fire modes on the Kel-Tec KSG is there's only one, and that's pump action. So it's semi-automatic or single fire, as some of you might say. I like to call it pump action. So click for each shot, and yeah, just treat it like an M590 in terms of rate of fire, and you should be good to go. Luck. Now, the luck on the KSG is very low, surprisingly, even for a shotgun. I mean, in the gameplay, you'll see me get quite a few lucky headshots, but I don't get quite as many headshots as I do with other shotguns. So, unfortunately, if you're looking for like a really lucky shotgun, this is not your shotgun, or in my hands anyway. I mean, you can make it happen because most shotguns fire at like, 7 or 8 pellets anyway, and the Kel-Tec KSG is really no different by firing 7 pellets. But for some reason, I've just noticed that I haven't been getting the same amount of headshots, like lucky headshots that I have, using other shotguns. Moving on to the ammo capacity. The ammo capacity is very high on the KSG because it starts with 14 shells in the barrel, and it also holds, I believe, I want to say it holds 28 in the magazine or in reserve. So that would give you 42 shells in reserve, and obviously that's a very high ammo capacity, seeing that most other shotguns only give you like 24 or 30 shells in total. So very high ammo capacity. Key physical characteristics. So if you guys do not, or if you guys have not seen like the KSG from Modern Warfare 3, it kind of looks like the M590 CQB and the CQB Mariner in that it's got the grip, and it's got like an extended buttstock behind it, and it's got like a long long barrel that is only that nothing else on it except nothing else is on it except for that integrated foregrip, which I don't really know why it's there, but whatever. I think it was in the Modern Warfare 3 model as well, but I'm not too sure. Maybe if you attach grip on it, I don't know. I haven't played Modern Warfare 3 in so long. But anyways, the KSG, it does look like the M590 CQB or the M590 CQB Mariners, so keep a watch out for that. But in the kill feed, when someone uses it in the kill feed, it does look pretty different, so you'll be able to tell right away if someone gets a kill with it. Moving on to the muzzle noise. The muzzle noise is a very low, deep, like very low frequency muzzle noise. Like it's almost so low that you could fire it and it'd be like it had a silencer. Like most people, like sometimes I've run into people where I've shot the KSG like right behind them, and they wouldn't even notice that a gun was firing. They'd be like, when I kill them, they'd be like, "Oh, someone was behind me, whoa," like that. So the muzzle noise is very low, especially when like other weapons and other sounds are going on, like other ambiances are going on at the same time. You definitely won't be able to hear the KSG. It's just that low of a frequency. Moving on to the attachment options. Unfortunately, you can't attach any modifications onto your KSG because it has 14 rounds per barrel anyway. You can't really attach an extended mag to it, so unfortunately that's not possible. All shotguns you can't attach a silencer to, and all shotguns you can't attach like a scope to unless you got the Max's R870 MCS mod or the MCS mod. So whether for fire team worthy, I'm kind of against it, because even though it has a very high ammo stock, its damage is just way too terrible in order to do any kind of damage in fire team. Like maybe the human fire teams like Desert Thunder, Nexus, Desert Fox, maybe those, yeah, okay, but for zombie ones, definitely no, don't even bother. Quarantine. Now, quarantine might be a little bit of a different story because some of you guys do prefer using shotguns in quarantine. I personally wouldn't really recommend the KSG because it is a pump action shotgun. Its rate of fire may be too slow for you to be comfortable with, and I mean, the ammo capacity is very high indeed, so you can last yourself a long time, given that you use your ammo wisely and see when is the appropriate times to fire off a round to make zombies back off. But in all honesty, I think you're much better with a fully automatic shotgun. That's just my honest opinion. Now, for my frank personal opinions, on the KSG is not very good. I don't recommend it to anyone who is not an avid shotgun fan. I mean, I'm a relatively big fan of shotguns, but I'm not too crazy about them. And the KSG, unfortunately, doesn't really do justice. I mean, it almost reminds me exactly of the same experience that I've had with the KSG in Modern Warfare 3. In my experience anyway, the KSG wasn't that great, and I have the same opinions of the Common Arms KSG. So funny how these things translate from game to game. But anyways, the KSG, I don't recommend it at all. I mean, it's not that I hate it, but I don't see people doing well with it. Like just your average Combat Arms player, I don't see them doing very well with it at all. So yeah, unfortunately, the KSG is not really worth your NX, and I really advise you guys to save your NX for later, unless you really want to know what the KSG feels like. Then I would say, well, good luck. Try it out for yourself, but don't blame me if you think it sucks, because I did warn you. So anyways, guys, those are my frank personal opinions. KSG, as much fun as it is, and as for as many unique characteristics that it has, as it brings to the shotguns, the shotgun family and Combat Arms, I don't think it's worth your NX getting. And so yeah, that should wrap up the review on the KSG, on the Kel-Tec KSG-12. You see how I fuse all the names together. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. This has been the Kel-Tec KSG-12 review by Agent Psycho, me, Agent Psycho, aka TouhouSniper98, and I hope you guys have found this review useful. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you guys later.